The transition from like getting clean from drugs is like, it's scary. Once you're an addict, you're never the same again. And like while you're getting clean, like you go have like these emotions that come up and down. One day you're feeling good, next day you're feeling bad. I battled it, you know, I fought it. You know, I asked God for help. I asked him to like, you know, get me to lose this addiction behavior. I started doing drugs at like 13 years old, you know, kind of just like being young and just wanting that fast-paced life. Next thing you know, I was addicted and, you know, I was 25 years old, still on drugs. I went to jail for my last time. I was just in there and just thinking about life and just having my old father come up there and visit me and not feeling good about it, you know, and just being like, you know, what am I doing? When I was in jail my last time, I started rapping. Hip hop to me is just is a message. The music behind it is what you actually feel. You know, and my music reflects what I go through in my life. So one of the things I did when I got out of jail is that I started rapping. I found rap music, you know what I'm saying? I found hip hop, you know, that I loved my whole life. I found that and I put that energy into it, you know what I mean? That was my drug. It's still my drug. I keep doing it more and more because like I have something to offer to people. You know, if I have a chance to meet them and stuff, like I could change lives. And that's basically what keeps me going every day right now.
Good wages, regular paychecks, good health care, good benefits.
Karen Spilka is a fighter. Now she wants to fight for the middle class.
It's personal to me. It's not just another issue. I grew up in a very dysfunctional family. I learned how to function in dysfunction, and what place is more dysfunctional than Congress right now?
Spilka grew up in a family of 6. Her dad had a major mental illness, and her sister has Down syndrome.
Amidst all of that dysfunction, I learned how to be a fighter. So I also know how hard it can be sometimes for families when things happen that you have no control over.
Spilka wants to help middle-class families by increasing minimum wage and improving education. That's something her supporters say she's already accomplished as a state senator.
She's always done the right thing up in Beacon Hill for the middle class. Health insurance, fair wages, OSHA standards. That's what it's all about. She's done a lot for us.
I have a track record of getting results right here in Massachusetts, fighting for working families, and that to me is the best indication of how well somebody will do in Congress.
Senator Spilka wants to move from here to the Capitol building in Washington. She's going to need more support. In a recent poll, she came in 4th place behind Catherine Clark, William Brownsberger, and Cara Squarcino. In Boston, Isaac Moore, WEBN News.
Program for today's game, $1
Here at opening day, Red Sox fans aren't the only ones excited for the start of baseball season. For the many vendors around Fenway Park, it's more than just a busy time of year. It's their livelihood.
It basically is our business. Opening day is the biggest day of the year. It pays all of our bills. This is our income. The better they are, the more money we make, and that's our business.
Boston Beer Works general manager Kyle Caracino agrees that the Sox success is good for business, but it doesn't necessarily affect the restaurants as much as it does the vendors.
Happy fans are happy customers, so that's always good. It's always good when the Red Sox win. If fans know that the Sox aren't going to make it to the playoffs, they're a little bit less enthusiastic, but we stay pretty much busy win or lose.
As a restaurant that doubles as a microbrewery, Boston Beer Works must brew months in advance in order to prepare for the added traffic of baseball season.
We start to prepare. Our watermelon ale will come out sometime in late June, early July. So that's the next huge staple for us that we have to brew a ton of to be prepared for the volume of Red Sox season.
For restaurant owners and vendors around Fenway Park, this formula is simple. The more the Red Sox win, the hungrier people are. And the hungrier people are, the more they're going to eat. Many are asking what's next for the Boston Marathon.
I hope to qualify again and come back. I would not think twice.
I've always wanted to run it again. I mean, you know, I love the Boston Marathon. I think it's the greatest race on the planet.
After Monday's tragedy, people fear the attack may affect future marathons in Boston, but most runners seem willing to come back. One runner from Nebraska agreed, saying it wasn't a lack of security.
Yeah, I would run it again, definitely. My wife and parents were down at the finish line. Actually, they were in between the two blasts, just on the opposite side of the street. And they said that bomb-sniffing dogs were out a couple of times, actually. They saw them physically walking around, so I don't think it was overlooked at all.
Nevertheless, added precautions will be made for next year's Boston Marathon, but Governor Deval Patrick says it will be even bigger and better than ever.
In terms of how we go forward, I'd just like to remind everyone we've had 116 years of incident-free marathon, and every year we have learned from the last experience. This is a painful and tragic lesson, but we will learn from this as well, and next year's marathon will be even bigger and better.
Just 1 week after the Boston Marathon bombings, London hosted its own marathon, but with a 40% increase in police representation. Similar security changes can be expected for Boston's marathon in 2014. Reporting in Boston, I'm Isaac Moore. Mike Napoli, Shane Victorino, David Ortiz, Koji Uehara, and most recently, Johnny Gomes. These are just some of the many names of the many heroes of Boston Red Sox this postseason. That's the beauty of this team. It's not just one guy. They consistently get production from players when you least expect it. Last night, the Sox looked to continue the magic in St. Louis and find another hero in Game 5. David Ortiz has been on fire this series. He came into Game 5 batting over 700, and he would continue it here. Base hit at the top of the first to score Dustin Pedroia from second. Poppy walks into second with the double. Sox take the early 1-0 lead. Great game for John Lesser on the mound as well. Gets Matt Carpenter looking here. He would finish the game with 7 strikeouts and only 1 hit. Top of the 7th now, David Ross up to bat. He would hit a line drive to left field. That bounces into the stands. Xander Bogaerts coming around to score. Sox would go up 2-1, but they were not done. 2 batters later, Jacoby Ellsbury picks a good time to get his first hit of the evening. Stephen Drew comes in to score. Ross would try to score from second, but a great throw by Shane Robinson gets him at the plate. Damage is done, though. Sox go up 3-1, and Koji Uehara coming in the 8th inning for the 4-out close. It's lights out. He's been great this postseason. Boston is 1 game away from the World Series. Here's David Ortiz on his hot streak after the game. We're coming back to Boston. For the first time since 1918, the Red Sox have a chance to win a World Series in Fenway Park. And as you all know, that was the last World Series win before turning Babe Ruth and beginning the 86-year curse of the Bambino. Wednesday's game will feature a rematch from the pitchers in Game 2. John Lackey will look to get his second career World Series clinching win. In 2002, Lackey was the starting pitcher for the Angels when Anaheim beat the Giants in Game 7. Michael Wacha, on the other hand, was nearly unhittable in Game 2. His only blemish, a 2-run home run given up to David Ortiz in the 6th inning. That's all your latest Red Sox news. I'll have more in Boston sports just a little bit later. Back to you, Charlie, at the desk.
Exhale, cartwheel, high to low, push-up, chaturanga.
Dogs, cats, and even cows are lurking in the shadow of Trinity Church. No, these are not animals. These are yogis.
People will just come and jump in for a minute, or, they'll come in the middle of the class and want to join, or, start at the beginning.
A lot of it did happen by people just walking by and saying, oh, what's going on here? Yoga, great.
One of those who joined in while walking by was Cleo Gregory.
Never done yoga before. Done a little bit of Tai Chi, so I just thought it might be a similar experience. And when I've done Tai Chi before, you see everything with new eyes, which I thought was a great way to start me tour of Boston.
Gregory is visiting from England. She happened across the yoga class while exploring Boston for the first time.
Sitting on the bench and just walked over. I quite liked hearing the tuning into the traffic and then tuning it out again. And it was quite easy to zone it out completely and come back to it again.
For Gregory, learning positions like downward dog wasn't just a yoga instruction. It was a blessing.
It was fantastic, the whole thing, and just to be able to relax now. So it was perfect to just lie down and relax, because I am quite hard on myself normally.
The free yoga class, which met every Thursday, is now done for the summer. The instructors plan to continue it again next summer. In Boston, I'm Isaac Moore, WBN News.